Yo, what's up, brother?
Hey, happy 1 year, man.
Happy 1 year, right? We got some exciting stuff coming up in year 2. We're really happy to announce that that we are just signed an ambassadorship program with Schedulicity. Schedulicity is a scheduling app, and they've been kind enough to help us out this next year.
Yeah, we met them in LA when we did the Salon Digital Summit, and they really believed in what we were doing and how we were doing it, and so they wanted to know how they can partner up with us to even reach more listeners and give what we give.
That's right. So with our partnership with Schedulicity, we will be able to reach more hairdressers, and we'll be able to bring a lot more content and get to a lot more hair shows. So hopefully we can see you guys out there in the hair shows when we're there visiting.
Yeah, and they're going to give us some business tips throughout the podcast as well. And I'm so excited that, we're partnering up with people that believe in the same things we believe in.
Yeah, no doubt. That's pretty exciting. So anyway, Schedulicity, once again, big shout out to you. And
thank you for joining
your day off. Silly. Hey, welcome to your day off. My name is Corey, and of course, sitting with my bud, Tony.
What's going on, buddy?
What's up, man?
Oh, man. Another 10 minutes with Tim.
Another 10 minutes with Tim. I know. I get so excited for these, man. I just feel like I just can kind of sit back and just be blown away. Sometimes I lose what I even want to say because Tim just blows me up with some kind of knowledge or something.
Just short, sweet, and powerful.
That's
what I mean?
Man.
Just a boom.
So, okay, time to be a little humble here. So today we're going to talk about service offerings. And what I mean by that is Tony and I, we just started, we're really super stoked that we're in partnership with Schedulicity, which is a scheduling app. And as we were setting our Schedulicity account, I guess, we had to come up with what our service menu was going to look like. And I reached out to Tim because I really want Tim's advice about this because he seems to be the guy with all the answers. But so we didn't want to set up our menu and be like haircut, highlight, blow dry, so
even though that's what we did in the beginning, right?
Well, that's why we have Tim here today, right?
Right.
So we're trying to just get some really good verbiage and to talk about our menu and stuff that hopefully is useful to you as well when you set up your menus, or if you haven't set up a menu, maybe you can use his verbiage or use the verbiage too.
Yeah, it just sets you apart.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It makes you maybe from just a regular brand to a luxury brand.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
So hopefully we'll get some of that verbiage because apparently we need it. We need to sound like a luxury brand.
Right. So. Yeah.
Right. Because clearly what we wrote down, we're just the idiots in the room. So hopefully Tim can make us look a little bit better, man. So once again, Mr. Tim Fisk, welcome to your day off and 10 minutes with Tim.
Hey guys, how's it going? I feel like I just got a challenge there from you guys.
I hope you deliver.
Yeah, I hope so too.
No pressure.
No pressure. So again, real quick, I kind of did the setup, but so that's our challenge, man. We set up our menu, and we kind of are embarrassed by the verbiage that we chose because it's just haircut and blow dry. So I think we kind of want to we'll go down what our service menu says, and if you have anything smart to add, which I'm sure you will, then please let us know.
Yeah, because I'm sure we'll miss a few things, but first of all, how did this come about? I'm kind of curious. How did you come up with this? Because it's so important.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think as a coach and working with a lot of salon companies and working with independent stylists, I've seen it so many times where the way that the services are described on websites, even on printed menus, in salons and in suites is what I call very inside baseball. So in other words, the stylists are using very technical terms that they learned, through education in cosmetology school, things even double process color, right? For example, that's just kind of a low-hanging fruit there. But the truth of the matter is those aren't the ways that your guests think about the services that they are looking to get. And it's not the way that they're being inspired about hair. They're being inspired by what they read in Allure magazine and Cosmopolitan magazine. And we have to take a look at some of those names and some of that branding and incorporate it into our service list so that we can continue to inspire our guests, or at least have it resonate in a way that they're going to understand.
That is genius.
That is genius, right?
Right. I mean, I love that. And like, you're talking on their language, you're meeting them where they are, right, Tim?
They're the consumer at the end of the day. So like, you got to put out, it's like owning an ice cream shop and listing the ice cream flavors by like ingredients. Like nobody's going to get it, right? You know, you gotta come up with the name, you know, rum raisin or whatever it is. What's your favorite ice cream? I don't know. So
I don't know.
yeah,
I'm a huge peanut butter.
another bucket.
I mean,
Anything peanut butter, I like.
Yeah, I'm all about the vanillas, man. Yeah. That might explain my menu.
Right.
Hey, there you go. See,
Hey,
that's awesome.
you need some peanut butter in that vanilla. That's what you need.
You're probably right. That's definitely it. So Tim, give us some luxury words for, like, let's say a haircut.
Well, hold on. Let's start off with the first word he already mentioned. Double process.
Double process.
Right?
Yeah, okay. Go ahead, low hanging fruit.
right. So what is that? I mean, double process, that's the highlight, right? So one of the conversations that I have a lot, which has been, you know, in the last year or two, and something that I'd even changed in my own salon company, is we don't have full foil, partial foil, face frame foil on our menu anymore. And that might be something that works in your market. I'm not telling everybody wholesale that you have to get rid of it. However, we know that with the advent of balayage and new highlighting techniques, that you might actually use a combination of techniques to achieve a certain highlight for a guest. So you want to consider potentially just calling it a highlight, right? And you could use full highlight, partial highlight, but at least that way you're not limiting yourself to the technique that you use. So, you know, we say to folks, in our menu, it says full highlight, low light. And that doesn't mean that we don't have the word balayage on the menu. We still have it on the menu. Why? Because it's a hot item. That's what everybody's reading about. So it does still say balayage, and I'll tell you where. But as far as like the highlight service goes, it just says highlights. And what I did was we actually took the price of the balayage and made that the price. So no longer is there this foil price that's actually lower than a balayage price. It's all that elevated price. Yeah, and what is that like? That's like when cap highlights came off of menu and it went all to foil, right? We have to evolve with our price list and how we talk about things.
I like that.
Yep. All right. So another very common word, haircut.
With blow dry.
That's right. So I say signature cut and style. I like the word signature, and I don't think it's quite outlasted its use yet. I think it's still something that's really relevant. What it implies is that you have a particular way of delivering that service to your guests. It's your signature style. So we use that for things like signature cut and style or signature blowout. So don't say like wash and blow dry, say like signature blowout or signature cut and style.
Gotcha.
I dig that one, man. Here's your signature. It's almost like prescriptive, right? It's just for you.
Color retouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, color retouch. I mean, this is like, you know, a lot of people's bread and butter, right? These are clients that are coming in often 3 times every 3 weeks. So, you know, they pretty much know what they're getting, but you could call it a root retouch because that's what people are calling them, their roots, right? They need their roots done. So you can call it a color retouch, but you could also like cater specifically to that guest that's looking to come in every 3 weeks to get their roots done and call it a root retouch. It's just like the shadow root.
Or signature color.
What's that?
Right. Signature color retouch.
Yes, it's signature root retouch. You know, you were talking about luxury too, and just to kind of back up a little bit, you know, as far as the signature blowout is concerned, that's great, but you should also consider having a luxury blowout on your menu, right? Do you have a luxury blowout? Do you have service enhancements like conditioning treatments that are customizable for your guests based on their specific hair needs? Incorporating something like that into your signature blowout takes it from a signature blowout to a luxury blowout.
Mm.
And while we're on it, you don't just call them conditioning treatments. Or, you know, if you're like, I'm a Redken salon, you don't have to call it chemistry system. I don't know that that necessarily resonates with the guests. And, Redkin's going to come and call me up and say, what are you doing? Right. But I like to call it custom therapeutic treatment.
Therapeutic.
Right. So we're solving concerns. We're solving problems for our guests. So they're going to come in and they're going to need protein, or they're going to need smoothing, or they're going to need moisture. And we can customize a treatment specifically for their needs. And that those needs can change throughout the year.
I love that.
That's true. In the seat,
especially if you sell it that way, right?
Yeah.
You need a different one. Do you have anything for like a keratin treatment or smoothing services?
Yeah. So you can say like custom smoothing services, or I would say things like also just smoothing services in general. With the keratins, though, I do have to say that the brands do help sell some of these services. So like if you're a Brazilian blowout salon, there are some guests that really know that and they want the Brazilian blowout. Right. So it's just something that you want to consider. Sometimes you want to put the brand name out there to help sell the service.
It's pretty amazing how they've done that, really, right? Smoothing services.
But if it's obscure, like you want to be clear in your description about exactly what it is that it does. So we offer smoothing services that go anywhere from like just taming curl to, max straight. And so we want to actually talk about those different gradients of smoothing services that we have in the description next to the price so that people know what they're getting into.
That makes sense, right?
Total.
Completely. Do you, are you using balayage, or do you have anything else that you use?
No, yeah. So definitely let's have this balayage conversation, because this one I think can be really effective and also solve some of our pain points as stylists with balayage clients who are stretching out their appointments because these services grow out so beautifully. We use balayage on our menu. We call it a balayage package. So we upgrade a lot of our highlight clients to our balayage package. This serves a couple of things for us. Number one, it gets the word balayage on our menu. And number two, the balayage package is basically like the Maserati of services in our salon company. So you're going to get the custom highlight. You're going to get a custom treatment or bonder treatment, customized bonder treatment. We always kind of incorporate the bonder when we're doing highlights too, because that's an elevated treatment that goes into the service. You're going to have a toner, you're going to have a haircut, and a signature blowout. So it has everything in it for one price. And what we usually do is give them like $10 off the whole package. And it's a great upsell, and it's a great conversation to have with the guests, just saying, hey, you know what? Most of my guests really just like to go with the balayage package, because then all the guesswork's out of it. They're just taking it. This is the price, and you get a little bit of a break on it too. So that's the balayage package. But before we ooh and ah about that, let me just say there's a partner to that. That's the balayage maintenance package, and this is like key here. So we don't want our guests to come in every 12 weeks. We want them to come in every 6 weeks. And the truth of the matter is I don't care how great your balayage is. In 6 weeks, the tone of that blonde is going to change, period. It's going to be different. So we need to get them back in so that they can maintain the look, but we don't want to break the bank for them. So we create a maintenance package that includes a toner refresh, custom conditioning treatment, and signature blowout. If you have a bang trim or bang trim price, I would throw it in there too. Or maybe you could consider throwing the bang trim in for free, and that can be the incentive for the balayage package. The balayage package is only available to your balayage guests if they book it within 6 weeks of their service.
That is a genius.
Yeah, that is awesome.
I took this.
How about consultation?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I took it from the lash world, actually. So like with lash extensions in that market, they're doing like 2-week fill, 3-week fill, 4-week fill. So they have pricing based on how soon you come back. And we can do that in the hair department as well with things like maintenance packages, where we'll give you a break if you come back within 6 weeks.
That's so smart.
Genius, right? That's so cool. What luxury verbiage do you have for, like, say, consultation?
Yeah. So, I mean, we use the word complimentary for consultation. So all new guests receive a 15-minute complimentary consultation. And you could use words. I think the words that I'm loving right now are custom, complimentary, luxury, signature, and therapeutic, right? So those are the 5 that I've been kind of playing around with for a while. So it's a complimentary consultation or a custom consultation. I think like putting the time in there is really helpful. And then also it's just letting people know that we're going to carve out that extra time for you, especially for a first-time guest, to really get on the same page.
So the time, would you would that be the title? So would it be like 15-minute consultation, or would you do that like in the description, or do you want the person to know, like, listen, we're carving out 15 minutes for you, so don't be late and whatever?
Yeah, like I love on my menu it says complimentary 15-minute consultation, and
that's the title.
Yeah, and the reason why is like you can just come in for that and not come and see us afterwards. I mean, ostensibly, that's kind of okay for me, because I just want to meet you and we want to know more about you and what your needs are. If after doing that, we realize that we really can't get on the same page and we can't serve you in the way you need to be served, that's okay. We can call it a day. But I'm absolutely happy to carve out that time to meet you and figure out, no obligation, just come in and meet me. If people are doing brows, I want to throw this one in there. So if people are doing brows, don't call it a brow wax. Call it a brow shaping.
Don't call it a brow wax. I've been here before.
Call it a brow shaping. And if you're not doing brows for your guests, you should. You definitely should. I mean, the way that it can increase your average ticket, it's incredible. Even if half of your guests get it, in general, you'll see, let's say 75 guests. I'm going to do math right now. So that's like 38 guests. If you have a $15 brow, so that's another $570 a month in services.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
And if you look
adds up quick.
12, that's $6,840 a year.
$600 to $800. You need a raise.
6,000
and a brow.
That's a lot.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
So we have root retouch. We have signature blowouts, luxury blowouts. We have the balayage package. We have root retouch, which I like that, even though I don't color. Boy here does. Refresh services, custom therapeutic treatments.
I want to kind of live there because I love that. Like, you need to go. You need therapy. Your hair needs therapy, bro. So
Therapy.
I love that to call it that because that's what it is, right?
It really is.
Right. I love that. And that's not a.
Tony, do you have a men's cut? That's a different price?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. What? You just call it a men's cut?
Yeah.
So do you use different techniques? Like, do you do a barber cut? Do you do like a clipper cut? Do you do scissors over comb? Any of that stuff?
I do. Yeah, I do it.
All of it.
Yeah.
So like,
dude, this dude's a master, Tim.
Yeah. So like, we're seeing words. I don't know if any of this is relevant to you, but people are using things like barber cut. People are using express cut for men, like a men's express cut, which would be a shorter period of time, but still kind of offers value to the guest. It's, sometimes the men's cut, it can, there's a lot going on in the barbering world. And I know that there's a difference. Barbers are legitimate, different. It's a very different market. It's a different thing. But we can kind of use some of the things that they're using and some of the language that they're using to appeal to men if you have both men and women that you serve as a cutting specialist.
Totally makes sense.
Totally does, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I have men's cut half hour.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And interesting enough, like you make more money on men's haircuts than women cuts, don't you?
Yeah, per hour. Yeah,
per hour, right? Like,
yeah.
So if you're filled with men's haircuts all day, you'll make more money than if you're filled with women's haircuts. Right?
That's a lot
That's a lot of cuts.
That's a lot more haircuts. So.
Yeah, no doubt. But you're earning it, man. You're earning it. You're earning the dollars.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Last Saturday, I'm in pain.
Dude, we weren't going to get ageist here, but we just did.
No. I mean, it's with the men, it's a different world. Like, do you ever get feedback from your clients about they want to come every 2 weeks, but they can't afford to pay for the full price haircut every 2 weeks, or stuff like that?
Yeah.
So
yeah, actually I do.
Yeah. Me too. We do too. I mean, in our state, actually, Massachusetts, you can't have a men's cut and a woman's cut. You can't have gender-based pricing. So we have a haircut, and it's just that's the price of the haircut. But just like with the balayage package, just like with the lashes, we have 2-week, haircuts, 3-week haircuts, and 4-week haircuts where they can get a little bit of a discount if they come sooner. And so we're making it more affordable for them to come more often. But they have to rebook their cut within 2 weeks of getting the cut. They have to rebook their cut within 3 weeks of getting the cut. So you can actually taper it based on the rebook.
That should be pre-book. If you pre-book, you'll get this discount,
Right.
If you pre-book for 2 weeks, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, but could that be a rule too? You have to pre-book? I guess the rules can be anything you want. Right.
And think about the time, Tony. So if somebody comes every 2 weeks, do you need 30 minutes with them?
No, not normally.
Yeah.
No.
So you can book that way too. You can look at the timing as well, because I don't want a stylist to lose money on time. But I want them to be able to get those guests in there as often as possible to increase their annual spend.
Yeah. A lot of my men like dry cutting, right? So we just do all dry cut and they
on the way.
Yeah. So there's so many variables.
So Tim, if Tony takes 30 minutes to do a men's haircut, and let's say he charges $50 for that haircut, if you were to do a 15, would you charge $30 for that?
Yeah,
haircut?
I would charge half price. I would charge a little bit more than half price, right? Because there's design, there's thought, there's art, there's hello, how you doing? There's water, there's coffee, there's all that stuff. So, I would charge something like, if you said $50 for a half an hour, I would go somewhere around 30 or 35 even for a 15-minute service.
Yeah, that makes
35, right?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, that totally makes sense.
That's pretty cool. You're awesome because we struggled with that menu for a long time. So now we have the luxury verbiage for our menu, bro.
That's right.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I mean, just put a little intention in it, make it fun for the guests. Just remember, it's for them. The menu is for them. It's not for you. So just make it inspiring and make it fun. Make it unbrand.
That's the most inspirational word yet, right? It's for them.
And I want to pull up my thesauruses and just go check out different words and make it.
We're going to look up so many words, it's not going to make sense.
No.
What the hell is that?
Right. Awesome, man.
That's so funny.
Thank you so much, brother.
Tim, thanks again. Thanks for joining us on 10 Minutes with Tim and on your day off.
My pleasure, guys.
Hey, so there it is. Hey, this is a message that we've been trying to bring, I don't know, for the last couple of months, actually since we started the podcast. Hey, so if you like the podcast or if you find that it's useful, please leave us a review, a 5-star review on iTunes. Leave us a rating and a review.
But if you don't like it, forget about it.
Yeah, totally forget about this message. We also want to thank Sarah and Blaine from Pretty Gritty. Sarah and Blaine, they are a band out of Portland, Oregon, and we just want to thank them very much for allowing us to use their song, Pleased to Meet You, on our podcast. That's cool. I think you can find their music on iTunes.
Peace and hair grease.